I got very lucky. So, I helped out a lot of these early teams, and they just happen to be some of the biggest companies. It's Airbnb, it's Stripe. Eventually ended up helping out Coinbase and Figma and Instacart and all. And it's been a great ride.
Like, what is it about teams, for example, like Stripe, that to differentiate them from others? Like, what about what guys running that company made them special?
Yeah, I've been kind of noodling on this. I had a conversation with some folks on my team yesterday, where I was just trying to brainstorm on what are there specific signs of truly outsized successful outcomes in terms of the types of founders. And I think a lot of it is just like, do you end up in the right product market? Is the market big enough? Is it growing? Is it dynamic in the right way? And so I think half of it is just you find the right market, and some of that could be luck and some of that couldn't.
But those guys are like, I mean, obviously, I know you agree they're special, but they seem like they're like some of the leading kind of intellectuals in our world right now.
No matter what, you need the market, right?
Yeah.
Now, within that, there's tons and tons of people who enter these markets and do horribly, right? Yeah. And so what's different? And so I almost view it as there being three types of founders that become hyper successful. And I'm just testing this out or spitballing it, right? I don't know if this is correct. The first one is kind of the polymathic, hyper intellectual, yet very competitive person. And that's probably Patrick and John from Stripe. Honestly, that was Larry and Sergey when I worked at Google. They were very polymathic, very deep on everything. They'd go down into the weeds on the data.
Yep.
And so I think one almost like super founder archetype is that. Yep. I think the second one is the super hardcore, extremely focused, really, really driven overdrive founder. That may be, Travis from Uber.
That reminds me of like Peter at Wish back in the day, but when he was doing well.
Yeah, Peter was just super focused. And I think there's almost signals of those, because a lot of people in our ecosystem now, for example, are doing angel investing, or they're involved with lots of other companies while they're running their company. And that second class of founders don't do any of that. They're just, they actually say no to everything, and they're just all in on one thing in a really
Travis
good way.
is definitely that way,
Yeah, so I think that's another archetype. And there's a few people I can think of who just had massive success that I just view as incredibly focused, right?
I feel like Elon used to be more that way, because he really would say no to everything.
Yeah, some of the best founders are just, like Parker at Rippling is incredibly judicious with his time. And he's just like, he's really focused. And then I think there's a third type of founder, which is just like the network effect business. And it's just, you have something that has network effects, you're going to do well.
Even if you're a clown car.
You could be, you could be Zuck, and then you take it to the next level,
That's
right?
fair.
And you start doing things like Llama and things like that.
So Zuck maybe has a network effect plus maybe some of the polymath side or something like that.
Yeah, or just, I don't know him, so I don't know if he's on the intense focus or the polymathic side or whatever, but I'm just saying like, maybe he's sort of an overlapping archetype of like one of those things, plus you now have a network effect business, so it's a default defensible.